In this video, I'm going to show you how to install SIPp on a Chromebook. Welcome to the Pasewaldt channel. And now, on to the video. So the first thing we need to do is get into your Linux partition. And I'm assuming that you have your Linux installed because I'm not going to explain how to install it in this video. The next thing is we need to grab the SIPp software from the repository. And we're going to use wget to retrieve the SIPp program. So there we have it. So all these commands will be in the description of the video. So let's continue on. Now we have it on our Chromebook. Now the next step here is we have to untar and ungunzip this SIPp file. And that's done by using the tar command. Now, what it does is it creates a directory underneath your home directory. In my case, my home directory is SIPp. So next step is we're going to go into SIPp directory. We type cd, enter, and let's look at all the files. So here's all the files. Now, we're going to need to make or compile the SIPp program. So we have to make sure we have make command on here. And as you can see here, when I type in MA and hit the tab key, there is no make. So now we have to install two packages, or one package maybe, on our Linux partition here on the Chromebook. And so we're going to have to type in sudo apt install, and let me just cut and paste it here because I'll mess up the spelling. Build essentials, and we're going to hit the enter key. Now I could have done a -y on the end, and what -y does, it just starts to install it right away. In my case, I didn't do that, so I'm just going to type in Y and enter, and it'll install in. So since I have to suffer through this, you're going to suffer through this too. I'm not going to speed this up. Well, maybe I'll speed it up. You'll find out in a minute or two. And we wait. So now the next thing we have to make sure that make is installed. Now I don't know, I forget build essentials installs it, so we can check it out by just typing it in MK and hitting the tab key, and now we have make. Now if yours doesn't come up with make, we have to install make, which would be sudo apt install make. That's all you need to do. And as you can see, it was installed. It was installed with build essentials. So again, to confirm if you have make, just type in MAK, hit the tab key, and you see we have make. Now let's move on to the next step. Now, if you go to the SIPp homepage, there's a couple ways you can install SIPp. We can install basic SIPp. We can install SIPp with OpenSSL. We can install SIPp with pcap, SCTP, and you can install SIPp with multiple configurations or options. In our case here, I'm just going to install SIPp with pcap, and that's it. So let's continue on with that. So the first thing is we have to figure out whether or not we have the proper amount or we have the proper packages installed. So let's go ahead and install SIPp by using the config command here. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to have to be root. So we're going to do sudo /configure space with dash pcap, and now let's hit enter. Let's see if it errors out. So we can see here it errored out. So we're missing this library. So a couple things you can do here. You can go ahead, cut and paste this into the Googles, and you can search what library it belongs to. So let's just do that real quick. And you can see by searching on these keywords here, it pulls up a web page where you can figure out what needs to be installed. And as you can see from here, we need to install these two packages. So let's go ahead and install those packages. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the difference between doing -y and not using -y. So the first package we're going to install here is going to be the one in front of you. And now I'm going to hit Y, and it's going to install it. So that's done. So now we have to install the next one. And in this one here, I am going to use the -y on the end so you can see what happens. So all you people who are new to Linux, I'm going to use the -y on the next command here. And now it'll automatically notice it didn't ask you for this. So that's the difference between not doing a Y and a -y on the end. So now we have our packages installed. Let's see if we can complete the install. So we hit the up arrow key a couple times here. We go back to our sudo config command and we hit enter. So now we're missing the pcap. And this is the Wireshark stuff, pcap stuff that you need to install. And that's just basically the pcap-dev, the libpcap-dev program that we need. So to install that, we need the following package. And let me grab it here for you. Again, all commands that I'm using are going to be down in the description. So now let's try the config again. Now we're going to go up, and then we're going to hit that command again, and let's see if it clears up. So this looks like it's going to be successful, and we're going to wait. So now we have it done. Now the next thing is we have to use make. So we have to do again, we have to become root, and the easy way to become root is sudo make. So all we're going to type is sudo make enter. All right, so now it looks like it's done. So I just cleared out the screen here. So let's see if we have SIPp. So notice here, when I hit the tab key, I don't see it, but when I do this, now we do see, looks like we have SIPp installed. But to run SIPp, since it's not part of the Linux kernel, we need to type SIPp, and then that's how we can run it. But as you can see, I'm not running the command yet. So let's go ahead and open up a few windows. I'm going to open up another Linux shell, and I'm going to go to, I'm in my SIPp directory. So let me show you how, or confirm that SIPp is installed on your Chromebook. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a server, and then we're going to create a client, and the client's going to send to the server. So to start the server, or to accept a response, it's going to be the following set of commands. So as you can see, the server has started. Now we're going to go to my other window, and then I'm going to start sending traffic to the server. So let's just move this over here a little bit and move this over here. So here, this is the command we're going to use. Oh, I need a .SIPp in there. Hang on. .SIPp. SN, UAC, that's client. And as you can see, the IP address I'm using itself. I'm using the Chromebook's loopback address to run this command here. And this is going to create a file, and I'll show you that file in a second. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Now you can start seeing this stuff here. You see, it's increasing. So that would tell me that SIPp seems to be working on this Chromebook. So we hit the Q key, which will gracefully stop the calls, and we hit the Q key here, and again, that'll gracefully stop the calls. Let's do an ls, and here is that file. So that's what this -trace_message creates. So let's take a look at that file. We're going to hit more, UAC, and hit enter. And these are the SIP message sent. You can see we have message received, message sent. So that's all the SIP messaging that's in here. Now, if we want to go through these commands that I used here, so remember the C means the client. That's the one that's going to initiate the call, and then the S here just means the server. It's going to act as a server. It's going to respond to it. So basically in SIP, you have something that's like a request, which is an invite, and then a response might be a 180 or 100 to the invite that came in. So in this case here, we did that /SIPp SN. So if you want to find out what all these switches are, we just go to the SIP homepage, go to documentation, and here we have -SN, and you can see what it means here. So I'm not going to read it to you, but you can read it by going to the web page, to their homepage. So the next command here, I have -trace_message. Again, we'll go back to the home page, and let's see if we can find that by scrolling around all over the place. There it is. Display, sent, and received, SIP messages. It's going to put it into the scenario file. And again, the scenario file that was used, it defaulted to this message log here. So there you have it. You have SIPp now installed on your Chromebook. Now, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below, and have yourself a healthy and wonderful day.